Hello, Sharon.
Good
You're
morning.
Michelle. Hi, Maya.
Hi,
Maya.
Michelle. Good morning. Good morning.
You don't really mean good morning.
Oh, I was saying good morning to Michelle. It's
Oh,
morning.
okay. I don't think it's morning
Hello.
where you are.
You know, it's evening. It's
Yes.
getting dark.
And
Yeah.
we've just borrowed the sun. We've just taken the sun from your skies. It's just arrived here to visit
Yeah.
us.
Great.
For the next day. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, Michelle. Hi, Kelly.
Hello. How are you? Who is with us? I can't see you all.
Kelly's here.
Oh,
So
hello,
Kelly,
Kelly.
Hi,
yeah.
Michelle. Hi, Sharon. Hi,
Hi,
Deb. Oh
Lois.
my gosh, so good to see your smile. Hey, Sharon, your big smile. You're so beautiful.
Oh,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yes.
Hi.
And her measured uh her measured guidance is always something that intrigues me and amazes me. So much to say, Sharon, but always so measured.
Thank you.
An
Thank you.
example I do well to learn from. I need to sit with you more frequently, but actually, I believe I've improved a lot the
If you'll
last few
note,
years.
I learned that I needed to keep my audio on off.
Yes,
It really
me
helped
too.
me. Yeah.
Me too.
Yes, we notice when there are groups of people all talking at once. And when we verbally respond when somebody else is talking, it just distorts everything.
For me, it makes me pause to say, what is it that I really want or need to say, or do I need to be quiet and listen? It's my, stopping point.
It's
That's
exactly
right.
the accompaniment of consciousness and
Yeah.
awareness of space. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh.
What was that you shared, Michelle? Was that a book that you?
Yeah, I was just about to say to you, my beautiful sisters, I drew a card this morning with intention. Can I share?
Please. Yes.
So it's the wisdom of the hidden realms, and it's a guidebook by Colette Baron Reed.
Love her work.
Isn't she wonderful? She has just a beautiful energy. So we have here the, can you see, guys?
Yes.
The Eagle King,
Ah.
the Eagle King, the big picture, angelic help.
Silly go.
Kelly's yeah, they're coming through my sky here behind me right now. The Eagle King is a sign that your highest destiny is within reach. You're on the right path now, even if you can't see where you're going. The Eagle King soars high above the mountains and valleys of life and is able to see the big picture when you seem to be lost in a bit of a fog. He makes a formidable ally as he takes your prayers up toward the sun and releases them to the divine. They will be answered for the highest good of all. It's a fortunate omen when the Eagle King decides to be your ally. So,
Oh,
yeah,
I love it. I love it.
yeah.
Well, while we're waiting
Sharon's,
for, hi, Shalimar, while we're waiting for others to join, I want to share the card I just drew from
uh-huh.
Goddesses of the World. Let's see.
Okay, yes.
Here we go. White Buffalo Woman came up.
Oh, really?
White
Magic.
Buffalo Woman came
White Buffalo
through me.
Woman.
The first time I experienced her was in 2010, 12,
Oh,
12,
wow.
2010, and she came through. And it was at a time when I was trying to figure out my own ceremonies and things. And she said, honor the traditions of the natives, but don't get stuck in the traditions of the natives. Go beyond the traditions of the natives into your own nativity.
Mm.
And so I sat with that for months. What does that mean? What is my nativity? I don't know what that means. And then I was at a friend's house and they had Ken Carey's Return of the Bird Tribe on the coffee table. And I love that book. So I hadn't seen it for a while. So I picked it up and I opened it up and my eyes fell on the paragraph that says, "We're here to remind you that your nativity is that you are from the stars. So don't forget your star essence." And White Buffalo Calf Woman says, "Strive for harmony." I've been in calls all day today, all day calls, and harmony has been on top of my mind and on my heart. So
Perfect.
that was really, really wonderful. I
I have
appreciate
one
it.
to share too. I pulled an oracle out of the mother's messages from the flowers of light, the flowers and their messages from the mother, and I opened
Oh,
it for us,
beautiful.
and
Beautiful.
it was the flower of wealth, and
Oh,
it was the water lily. And
oh.
it says, all wealth belongs to the divine, and those who hold it are trustees, not possessors. It is with them today, and tomorrow it may be elsewhere. And all depends on the way they discharge their trust while it is with them, and what spirit, with what consciousness in their use of it, and to what purpose. Speaking of
Oh,
true wealth,
yeah,
that which
beautiful.
offers to the divine.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, we're at 5:04. We're gonna at 5:05, we're going to begin.
Excellent.
So
Mhm.
for just one more minute.
Oh,
Mhm.
5:05 it is. Kelly, would you begin us, please?
yes, it is time. So I want to welcome us to this time of bonding with our hearts with one another. And I wanted to open us with an intention of being open and even open-eyed to do a meditation with our eyes on one another instead of closing our eyes, but to look at each other, to see each other. If you can, turn your screen on so we can see you if you're willing. And inviting us into this moment of that intention to be open and connecting, noticing each other. And this is the place where we then get to look at how we weave and what we weave together. And we have more to share about that. But for right now, let's just start there. So, inviting us to open our eyes and look at one another in this moment. Oh, hang on, darlings, one moment. I do believe I need to set this so you can hear the bowl. Otherwise, it'll just sound like nothing. Hang on, let me fix that. Technology in the way. Okay. All right, here we go. Thank you. So, dropping in with each other, eyes open, seeing and noticing each other in this moment to bond with our hearts. Through the window of the soul, our eyes take us in to meet, allowing us to see each other, our beauty, our purpose, our heart's desires, our light. Noticing each other right now, here in this moment. Yes. Feel free to sing.
of love,
Welcome.
Thank you.
And my
bonds of,
yes, go.
can you hear me?
Yep, go.
Okay. Bonds of love, felt in our heart, known in our spirit, tie us together in a golden framework of light that unites our minds to do what is right and sees to the future what is beyond our sight. Bonds of trust beyond what's known. Integrity matters as each voice is heard. We listen deeply to each other's hearts and hold in silence the stories we share, while always seeking to make what is real be the path for our children as we all heal.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
Thank you. Setting this beautiful, beautiful ambience here today, this evening, this morning, and today.
Thank you. So we have a wonderful thought intention to go around the circle. Mayana, you remember what we're going to do? Name and share some. There was something else that you were.
Name and location. And if you know the indigenous location, that's great. If you don't, it's okay.
Mhm.
And what is your intention for your life in this moment? Not who you are and what you do, but your intention.
So I'm Kelly Springer. I am in the foot of Taiawaiwi Peak here in Talent, Oregon. Taiawaiwi is the name Grandma Aggie was given. This mountain was named after her, and it means morning star. And my intention right now is to hold inspiration for our nexus, our co-creative ability to weave and unify, to really learn those steps it takes to come together. And it's a place of great raw and vulnerability for many, and I want to hold the space for safety, for that connecting, for that place to meet. That's my intention. Thank you.
We'll just go around one at a time. Grandma Sharon, would you like to go next?
Sharon Raji Maynard. I'm on Whidbey Island, which is the home of the Lower Skagit, the Snohomish, the Tulalip, and Swinomish tribes, which most of them are still here. And I always, in these circles, give great gratitude for Gaia for allowing us to be here on her space, working out the lives that we were intended to work out. My intention for my life in this moment is totally reevaluation time. That's where I'm at. Grateful to be with you. Would you like me to pass the stick on?
Please.
Okay, Michelle.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, sisters all. I am Michelle Margaret Telfer. I am women. I birthed three gorgeous women, strong, fierce, healed, and healing. I'm on the edge of the northern rivers here in New South Wales, water in abundance everywhere, tropical rainforest. And I pay homage here to the ancient custodians of this country, the Bundjalung people, and the Githable, Wahalabul, and Gullible people. Gullible, interesting, huh? Of these valleys and these ranges. I honor their enduring relationship with the elements. It's so the water, the land, the forest, the skies, and the spirit of place here, which they held continuously, unbroken, for 60,000 years. It's such a privilege to be here, nurturing the healing that I'm able to transmit. Like, like all of us here, and especially Sharon was just saying, I'm here to repurpose this energy that I'm gifted with and share it globally as outreach ambassador for us all. I'm learning as I go. Thank you.
And pass the stick, Michelle.
I'm passing the stick to Mayana, my buddy. Yeah.
I'm Mayana Kingery, also known as Mama Tank. I am in Southwest Virginia on the land that was the Wolf Creek tribe of the Cherokee Nation in the United States. And my intention today has been harmony and collaboration. So bringing together all different aspects that people have in their own being and work and harmonizing it so we can be in total unity in what we bring forth to the world. And I will pass to Shalimar.
Bingo. I've got a neighbor who's got a saw. Is it all right? Can you still hear me all right?
Yes.
We're not hearing.
Yes.
You're
We're
hearing?
not, we are
right.
not hearing it, but we're hearing you. Go for it.
Oh, great. Thank you. My intention is to be as authentic as is, I would say, humanly possible as we each day navigate what we are navigating, all of us, and to be so present. And that means relaxing, which means trusting, which means being open. And I am on Vancouver Island. I don't know if you can see that's the ocean back there. Yes. And I'm very lucky to have found a rental right on the water. And so I've been writing and dreaming and creating. And I'm just very, very grateful. And to have discovered it's been a solo journey for a year and a half as I completed some offerings, which Kalina and Mayana know of. And I'm just so grateful to be here. And my intention is to hold a space of authenticity for all around me, including all the animals. I mean, I've got a new relationship with bugs, ants and everything. So precious. I know. The nations, gosh, Coast Salish, of course, the Squamish nations, and up Haida Gwaii and Chimshen and all the way up the coast. So it's quite powerful here on the coast for that. And I noticed that everyone in doing festivals here and so on is honoring the First Nations, which is so good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I pass the torch to Michelle. Who? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I pass the
To
torch.
Lisa.
Lisa, I pass the torch to you, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I'll say it
Lisa.
first. Hi. This is my first time. I will say it to everybody first in Ojibwe. Bonjour, Nin. Lisa Nin, Nindizikanaz, Nindigo Loon Clan. And I said, hi, hello, my name is Lisa. I am Ojibwe Anishinaabe of the Loon Clan. And my ancestors are also French fur trappers from Canada. So I'm Métis. And let's see, the people, I live in Seattle or south of Seattle, Washington in the US. So my tribes around here are Puyallup, Duwamish, and all the ones that Shalimar and Sharon mentioned are also in this area. It's a really rich area. if I would say my intention right now is to really connect with all my relations. And like Shalimar said, that includes the four-leggeds, the winged animals, the trees, the water. We're all part of the same energy in my beliefs. And I really want to be vulnerable to that, vulnerable to those connections and real.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brittany, would you like to share with us?
Yes, hi, thank you. I'm trying to get my camera to work. I can't tell if it's working or not.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'll keep working on that later. But my name is Brittany, and I live in Colorado
Hmm.
in the United States, at the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. My intention is to continue to learn and grow, learn about all of the native practices around me, and then my heritage as well. And I'm looking for community and places to continue to learn and grow. So thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you all for sharing. That's just lovely. It's so good to be together, heart to heart, eye to eye, and really, really, we really want to talk today about what does it mean to bond, first of all, with our divine nature, our own self in our heart. So that's the subject we're going to address first. And after we converse about this and share our own ways of doing that, we'll talk about how we walk in the world and bond with others from that place. So, oh, hi, Brittany. Good to see you. So, since I'm already talking, I guess I'll just begin that journey within. In my life, I came up through a fundamentalist Christian path, and I always believed what it said, that the kingdom of heaven is within. So instead of listening to the preachers and everybody telling me what I needed to know, I wanted to go within and actually get to know my family in there. And I had a joyful experience of reading Saint Germain on alchemy. And one of the first lessons that I got when I enrolled in the inners in classes was there's nowhere you need to go outside of your body. Your body is the portal to everything you need. And, while I knew a lot of people who were having out of body experiences, I was guided to never do that, that my body I'm responsible for and I needed to stay in it. So when I go within and I connect within, I'm still aware of all of my circumstances in the physical world around me.
Yeah.
And that's been my practice. So let's popcorn at this point. So whoever feels to go next, love to hear how you've gone within and merged in your own heart with your divine source.
Yeah.
Michelle? Yes.
By stark contrast, I was raised traveling the world, seeing different people, observing. So it was all an external, fascinating, almost a reverence. We had to note as children different things that these people were showing us or doing, and discuss it later amongst our family. And later on, processing all of that traveling, coming back to the rigid system of Australian, very insular culture, very lacking in international culture when I got back here in the early 70s. So that was an interesting journey. And I learned to go within then. That's when I learned to meditate and focus on a bigger picture and within me, and expand with the Tao, with Jung, and I became a student of life. And I had a T-shirt saying "a student of life," and I think now I've graduated. I know I have. And I'm so grateful to be amongst peers that have also graduated the School of Life, to be able to be on this platform, aligned with you all in a capacity where we can provide safety, nurture, and encourage further seeking of healing, particularly, specifically, that's my passion, healing, but growth as well, spiritual growth. So yeah, thank you for convening this, you two, Kelly and Mayana, and of course Sharon, always holding space, and others. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. Who would like to go next? Shalimar?
You're just inspiring me to, like, how do we originate in order to be where we are right now? And when I was 5, my mother got tuberculosis, and so she left the family fold for 3 years. Until I was 8, I saw her for just 1 or 2 hours a year. It was all that was manageable on either. And she was put into a sanatorium in British Columbia called Tranquille. I don't know if some of you may have heard of it, but I've since researched, and they did medical experiments there. Well, they did on my mom. They cut her from the center of her sternum. No, it's a good story. They cut her from the center of her sternum all the way down around her hip and all the way back up to the top, and opened her up and took out 1.5 of her lungs, leaving her with half a lung. So I grew up as a little girl having to take care and protect my heart without my mom, with a father who just come out of 2 world wars, basically the Spanish War, and he had no emotional body, and an elder brother who resented this little touchy-feely little girl. So I was literally on my own at the age of 5. And what happened is I became very resilient, but my heart is protected. And I just had that brought to my attention by a friend of mine. Like 2 days ago, she said, you might want to go back and reclaim that. My thing was, my brother was always judgmental. So my shtick and my trigger is, if anyone judged me, well, bye-bye. So I've had to go through that entire growth spurt, and my growth spurt has been lifelong and all over the planet. I've been drawn to adventure after adventure after adventure. I've said yes to things that people would, you're joking. You said you went where? You did what? And that kind of thing. And experientially, I have all of this information, and I chose to see, why did I have a car crash with my father and I was removed from the car and he was moved on? He actually removed me. I was moved 400 feet up on a cliff face, and an impact from a car in a convertible I was asleep in the bucket seat. I was completely removed. It wasn't until I was 68. That happened when I was 25. When I was 68, I realized that I was a walk-in from them, and it must be my higher self, I've deduced after all of that time. So that happened when I was 25.
Yeah.
I have just gone absolutely like nuts. When I think about some of the things that I've done, quite honestly, it's just like, it's almost, I'm not sure I even want to share, but I've written all of this stuff down, and Mayana and Kalina know about this. I've documented the learnings from a lifetime of saying yes, really, in a video series and a book that can help humanity. Because I think I figured out, so many people I know are not empowered. They're just not empowered. They're not in their power. I watch how they respond to everything in their life, and isn't with this calm understanding that they've created it in the first place. And it's all going to be perfect if you will just see why we've used the physical vessel for this experience in order to gain that particular understanding, which happens hours and hours alone, right? And so anyway, I've documented what I think is 8 stages to get there. The video series, the first one is like, what are you doing on Earth right now? Like, do you know why you're here? Second one, you have a destiny. Like, you're so key in this transformation. Third one, all the triggers from family trauma and all that. There's 8 of them, and they work, guys, and they're simple. And so actually, Mayana and Kalina and I have been collaborating, trying to get the word out. I've created a fundraising page because with nothing at 78, on a pension for like 4 years, can hardly pay my rent. I'm creating this offering, but I need production and publishing. Everything's written, everything's formulated. So, just wanted to share that all with you. Got really excited.
Yeah. Great.
You, Shalimar. Satyani, welcome. I want to just let you know what we're doing here. We are going around the circle. We've given our names and our location. So when it's your turn, you're welcome to say that as well and your intention. But this round, we're just asking, how have you connected with your own source within? And how have you bonded as a being with your own self? So if you want to just listen a little bit more before you pop in, that's fine too. So next, who would like to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Wow. When I started out my journey as a child, I had this very aware feeling that I was going to turn darker. And one of my African American women friends said, Kelly, you're the first white woman I ever met who wishes she was black. And she was right, because I felt like I was from other tribes and of color, and being in a white body felt awkward for me even at the age of 5. And I didn't understand why I felt that way yet. I just knew that when somebody told me I wouldn't get darker, that I was always going to be white, that I cried for an hour. And the feeling I had was, my people aren't going to recognize me in this white skin. And I grew up in a Southern Baptist, very fundamental family. Religion was not a question or a choice or an option. It was, you're going to church, it's Sunday, put on your clothes, put your patent leather shoes on, girl, we're out the door. And so I grew up in this very rigid family, but they were loving. And I didn't know until I was in my 30s that something tragic and kind of intense had happened to me. And when that woke up, I guess in my teens, I told my parents I was done with their religion. And I told them I was needing to step away, that I wanted to go and find God for myself. And I moved to the Rocky Mountains, and I was living at the Continental Divide in Estes Park for a whole summer by myself, near my sister, but kind of exploring, what is God? What is creator? What does it mean to be in a divine relationship that doesn't fit with my religious upbringing, because it didn't feel like home to me. And so I went searching and seeking, and I wanted to understand God and creator and something else. And then I met a Rosicrucian priestess and Edgar Casey's teachings and Ascended Masters and Divine Feminine, and you just could keep going. Celtic traditions, Native American ways. And I found that I was feeling drawn to everything. I didn't want one flavor. I wanted the whole rainbow popsicle, and I wanted to lick and taste all of it. And I was finding African traditions. Really, Yamaya was just like singing to me from a very young age. I was like, what is this? And then finding memories coming up and not understanding why I had such intense clairvoyance. I was very clairvoyant and had clary gifts. And when I came into my 30s, I met my first shaman and went vision questing. A week after meeting him, he was like, you don't need training, just come. And what showed up for me in that moment were ancestors who actually prepared me for my first vision quest. An indigenous grandmother showed up, and she was like, I'm here to get you ready. And so I just got out of self-pity, like within a moment. I realized I was feeling like these amazing experiences of meeting my God self through her meditation that she taught me for that journey. I saw my perfect light body, and I spent a year consciously merging into her. And then I meditated with that grandmother, and my other indigenous elder was a Cherokee grandfather. And he came to me at that point and he said, I waited 5 generations for someone who could hear me in the family and you're it. And I was like, wow. So, okay. And he was like, you're Cherokee. And I was like, okay, explain that. So he did. And my grandmother had always told us we had Choctaw blood. And in Louisiana, you know, you're like in muddy river swamp territory. I was born by the Red River, which to me is the river of the mother, the river of our blood, the river of our DNA. And I've come to really realize my river I was born by fits me perfectly for who I've become and what happened to me. So as I woke up to, oh my gosh, you know, there's so much more to life and the divine than I ever could have imagined in in my wildest dreams. And I just started opening the door and light started pouring through me and with me. And I started to wake up more and more memories and information. And elders showed up. I had four shamans, two women, two men, who became part of my path. And I kept meeting people who had had near death experiences, and I was kind of arrogant in a way, like kind of cocky about my clairvoyant gifts. Like, oh, well, you know, you had a near death experience and that's how you got your clary gifts, is trauma and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, nothing like that ever happened to me. And I have all those gifts. And, you know, why do you have to have a near death experience to have those? And then I found out I had had a near death experience. And then I just hadn't remembered it. That I was actually raped and choked to death and killed and died when I was 3.5. And 5 years into my healing gifts waking up, I remembered that through a dream of a man who came to me for healing, and he had been raped and he had been a rapist. And he was asking me for help to heal. And then a week later, that man actually showed up and I worked with him and it was amazing. And at the end of it, he said, you know, I have a sixth sense for raped people, and I can pick them out of a room. And I've had that feeling about you. And I said, oh, me too. And he goes, I said, I just don't fully remember it. And he goes, well, it happened, you know, so just keep working on healing it. And I said, well, I actually think the map that I just took you through for your healing is why I was raped and what I came into the world to bring. And my guides and my angelic family said that. They said you were raped on purpose to write this map for integration and how to become whole again after being fractured. And so I spent 7 years reintegrating and finding the map and all the layers. And then I spent the last 34 years cultivating and expanding in that. And there is no end to the continuum of a classroom called life. And I appreciate Michelle's graduation, but you will never stop learning, right? And so we're in the continuum of always learning and expanding and growing. But I developed my work into a song called The Song of Returning, and the Angelics named it that for me, not me. I didn't come up with that name. I didn't have a name for it. I was like, what do we call this? It's so magical and amazing. And they said The Song of Returning. And people started asking me for my book at that time. And I was like, what book? If I'm gonna write a book, I'm dyslexic. I can hardly spell. What are you talking about? And and I started to realize that dyslexia and people who have higher intuitive gifts is a mislabel. That we actually are highly gifted geniuses, and that we have been labeled as a ADHD or this or that. And most of the times we have extremely very elevated, highly activated intuitive brains that are capable of a lot more quicker, faster than the average bear. So I started just really embracing everything I could touch. I became a clan leader. And I inherited the medicine wheel of my teacher and then got the completion of it from my grandfather, who told me he brought it to him in a dream and was giving me the complete wheel. So I'm actually a lineage carrier for the Tisloji people with a wheel of sevens. And it's something I'm to share. And then I also know this is my time I turned 64 last Friday. May 22nd was my birthday, and this is my legacy time. And while I have a youthful elder brain, I need to be teaching what I've learned. And so I'm right now cultivating the platform and the place to have that be made possible in a bigger way. And then
And that's our
big,
next round.
big things.
Thank you.
That's our next
Woo,
round.
Okay.
that's a lot. Goodness. Woo. Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks,
It
Kelly.
delivers.
Lisa.
Wow. Was a
It
lot.
amazes me how much of what each of you have said resonates with me. At the same time, so much of it is very, very different from my own experience. But in the case of Kelly, I also was raised Southern Baptist, and not raised traditionally, which I long to know more and more and more about my traditions, my cultural traditions. I think language is the root of all your traditions. So I'm really interested in what words you all use to describe your experiences. I have also had a traumatic childhood, and I think that goes along for most women. I would say most women have been sexually assaulted or raped. For me, I was first sexually assaulted when I was 7 and raped at 9. So I feel that when you're sharing your story, Kelly. Also, what Michelle, you were talking about learning and being finished, and I'm also a lifetime learner. I've piled degree upon degree because everything keeps interesting me, whether it's archaeology, psychology, political science, and law. I
Yeah.
piled degree upon a degree, and I don't work in
Amazing.
any of them. And what I
Yeah.
love to do is art and music and, anything creative.
Yeah.
And that's what really calls me, is to be creative. And so when I'm bonding with myself, it's in the creative, it's in the traditional, it's listening to my elders who I'm 63, about to turn 64, Kelly. You look fabulous, by the way. And my elders that I'm listening to now are in their 80s, and they do feel like my elders still, even though I'm 63, sometimes I feel 25, sometimes I feel 32. It really depends on the day. But my finding myself and bonding with myself has been through accepting my trauma, letting go of any shame or guilt that I had, to write and be very vulnerable and honest about it in my writings. I'm a poet, and I've written poems about it all. Very vulnerable, that people call it very emotional and very moving for them. But I think we have to get to that place of vulnerability. And so,
And trust.
yeah, and trust.
Mm.
I think one more thing about that. I think you have to trust yourself, and you
Cool.
can't worry about what other people say about you or think about you.
trust
That's
yourself.
on them. Yeah, that's on them.
That's good. That's all we can do.
Thank you. Who would like to go next?
Beautiful. Thank you. Can I just say, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was that detailed. I was just giving a little précis, but that's fine. We'll reconvene this. I'll pick up this conversation thread some other time.
I
Who's
just
next?
gave a little
Sharon.
bit too.
Yeah, Sharon, are you in?
That's okay.
I'm in.
Good.
I was raised in a very patriarchal system, loving system. And so I was taught that I didn't have to think about who I was, what I wanted at all. All I had to do is listen to the men around me, and they would give me the jobs to do, and I would just do it really well. And so for me, it was like I had to make sure I did it right, look good, say yes, and that's it. And it wasn't and I had no trauma. There was no one in my family, extended or personal, and it was a very big family. That there was any trauma. So that was not my background. It wasn't until I was about 41, as a widow with 9 children under 13, raising them alone, that I went to a workshop to find out how to be more financially stable. And it was metaphysics. What do you believe? And that's when I learned about affirmations and realized I had a role to play in determining my life, because I could do affirmations. And that opened the door for me to figure out, then what do I want? And by then I had no idea what I wanted, because it wasn't part of my quest. I was just a mother or wife and say yes. So one of the pieces of the puzzle was that workshop, learning about affirmations, trying on a reading in which I was told, you have a role to play with a male partner, a healing role to play with a male partner. I'm a widow, nine kids. Okay. So I hit a time shortly after that when I had a kidney infection so badly, I learned later, that I could have died. When I was doing rebirthing around that, the whole situation, I came to a point where they said, do you want to live or die in this journey of rebirthing? And I said to them, I mean, I have 9 kids, I should stay for them, but it was like, that's a hard life. So maybe somebody else can take over my kids and I'll just go on. But then I realized I had a mission of healing with a male partner. So I'm got somebody coming. So I said, if that is true, then I want to live. If that is true, then I want to live. Kind of a test. And so when I went through the kidney thing and I pulled through, and my doctor said, I don't know how you did it. I knew how I'd done it. I looked back at that going, wait a minute, I'm 84. So I got you all beat. It gets better. And I went, wait a minute, in 71, I learned about asking a question of that inner, whatever that was, that was for me. And I was extremely telepathic, not clairvoyant, very telepathic. And I wrote pages in answer to questions. And I said, who is this speaking to me? And the name is Christ, the Nanda Christ. So that has been my bonding place for my entire life going forward. And we've done information that I asked for. Where do I find it? Was, you won't find it anywhere on the planet. The information you need for your mission exists in these higher regions. And if you want to take on that mission, I will be the connecting point. So all these years later, I remembered the promise that I was going to be with a male partner doing this work on the planet. And I went, I gave up marriage. I had too much to do other places. Then I realized my partner's always been in spirit. So for me, that bonding, wherever it is, that is in alignment to what you value, which you then learn can become purpose, for me has always been the other worlds. And then this world reflects that. And grateful to be sitting with you, because I'm hearing very similar stories in how we come to who we are. And then that leads us to who we're with and what we do.
Exactly.
Thank you.
It does. Really.
Thank you, Sharon. That's
Thank you,
beautiful, beautiful. Brittany
So
or
sincere.
Tatiana, would you like to share?
I can go. Okay. So most of my childhood I spent caring for others in my family emotionally. My mother and my father got divorced, caring for my sister when I was small. So my world was outer for the first 30, 25 years. But when I started learning about my inner world was when I had my first child after I got married. I had my first child, and while I was bonding with that child, it just felt like there was more within me, more beyond, and I could feel so much more connection. Both of my children, I have two boys, and they're 14 and 11, and they've opened my eyes to a world that I want to provide a better space for them, a space where they get to know who they are instead of looking for others, emotions and responses, and just responding to life, and where they get to lead their own life. And I'd like to lead my own life now as well, and see how I can connect with everything that's around me, this beautiful world, the life, the animals, the plants, the people, the community. So that's where I had to go within to better understand and appreciate everything around me lately. So thank you. And still learning.
So much love there. Beautiful.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you for sharing. Tatiana, did you want to share?
I suppose if you would I know name and where you're calling from, but the other questions, if you could refresh my memory.
We're just talking about how we learn to bond with our own inner self, or with our own source, or with whatever you call
The divine,
the divine.
divinity, your divinity, or
Yeah.
your path with the divinity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm Satyani McPherson in Northern Virginia, near Washington, D.C., and I suppose through meditation. Yeah, just as simple as that.
Brilliant.
I've had a
Lovely.
meditation practice since the
That's
mid 80s, so, and I teach meditation, so through meditation. And I just want, like, when I first heard the question, it kind of, I was like, well, bonding with myself, there's never a separation. So there's never, not sure that there is a bonding because it always is.
Point.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I know, I pondered that word too. Yeah.
That's really interesting. There are some of us who have been so fractured that we had to learn to bond. And that's probably why that message came through me to have this conversation, because I had been fractured and I had to find out how to bond and how to trust my own self and listen to that inner voice, because I didn't know how. And
Knitting,
so,
knitting. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, no, that's okay. So we
Michelle,
only
do you want to say something in this vein of this circle
Well,
before we
yeah,
start the
I
question?
ideally would love to actually, because
Okay.
bonding with myself truly happened when I came back to this place, Australia, which was our destination, apparently, for my parents anyway. And yet I did not assimilate here. There was nothing I could identify with. I couldn't deal with the plants. The bush was big, it was boisterous, the music was loud, the men were coarse. And I had grown up in Europe, finesse, very delicately, with elite sort of beaches and quiet poetic artists and filmmakers and actresses and people that were flowing and going and artistic and breathing the air. So here the weather was hot. I got sunburned. I tried the water. There were sharks. There were jellyfish. It was really difficult for me to adjust. And I'd always looked for beauty. My mother told me to find the beauty, find the wisdom. And it had me baffled until I cracked. I completely had what was called in those days a nervous breakdown. And I was out of action completely. I couldn't speak. I couldn't coordinate. I couldn't do anything. I was in care. And then one day I thought, oh my gosh, I can make a choice here. I can return or I can stay here. And I'm like, a little light, just a tiny light went on for 1 second. And somehow over the next few, it took a lot of effort to learn to speak again, to learn to coordinate, to learn to walk again, to learn to assimilate, to speak again in confidence. But I did, and my mother coached me. But when my mother coached me, I would look at her and she would morph, and my grandfather would be there talking to me. And so this is all of my gifts, my series and my insights, instincts, hearing, audible, my dreams, everything smashed right through all the barriers. And this is why I was swamped. I was absolutely swamped with all that is, was, and will be. And I was 21. I just turned 21. And so that year was completely smothered in learning directly. One connection was my younger brother who played guitar and wrote. He said he'd met some people. Would I like to one day perhaps go with him to meet them? One day I woke up, I'd had a dream of these people. The next day I said, I think I'm ready to go and see these people. Meantime, my mother is having me trained to have coordination, eye to hand, eating. I'm now no longer skin and bone. I'm starting to stack on weight. But I couldn't swallow, I couldn't eat. I remember all of that. And we left the hospital. I was at home now. And I had two younger sisters, like 11 and 7. So it was a difficult time for the family, but my parents were unbelievable. My father gave me a book called The Power of Positive Thinking by Neil. And so put it in my hands. And my mother, as I said, had the guidance of spiritual realms because she's Tongan Irish. And she had the Fae with her and the water women, Kelly, the water, comes in. And so the power was for me to learn. So I said to my brother, I'm ready. So I went to this, as soon as I'm out of his car and stepping on the driveway, I remembered the dream the night before. And I went to that house and I visited them. This woman was a white witch healer woman. She knew the Kabbalah, she knew Blavatsky and the Theosophical Society in and out. She knew all of the literature. She knew all of Jung, and she knew exactly how to deal with me. And her partner was an astrologer, astronomer, an English warlock, and also a druid. And they took me in and nurtured me and fed me. For 5 years, I studied and lived with them. Their house was a beautiful house on the cliff. And but it wasn't it was a beach. It wasn't a rough, heavy cliff. It was a calm, like the Mediterranean water. And the carpet throughout the house was green shag pile. A crazy, crazy, mad, arty house. And the table where we sat around had 8 bean bags in different colors. And this table was a huge, in yards, 3 yards across, but octagonal. So we would each sit around and we would pass the bong, which was a sacrament thing. It was a pipe made of hashish or of weed, as an option, or have a cup of tea and a biscuit, but no alcohol. And so this was how, and music was played like this, written, poetry was written, dreams were shared, and I was in heaven. And that was how I evolved to become who I am today. And this is what I absolutely feel we all bring. And I'm so grateful for Billy. She went on to get a master's degree in feminism. She left me and bequeathed me, and has passed on all of her papers from studying the courses. And this was just before I woke up to the fact that I did not need to be married. I had to create my own life, and we had to rescue the world. And the dreams came in from her and my mutual friend and my brother's dearest friend, Charles, who rang me and said, "It's very strange. You'll think I'm mad. I've had a dream. Your brother and father have come to me saying, Michelle, you must wake up. You know, there is more to do. We need you to be happy. You need to be happy. You're no longer." So this was how I evolved. And I'm so grateful, Mayana, to have been able to share that with you and Kelly and all of you beautiful sisters, because it was such a huge journey. And I honestly, like you all, I thought I was going to commit suicide. My mother caught me one night. I had a skewer for the kebabs, you know, a metal skewer, and I was pushing it, trying to push it into my heart because I felt I'd failed life. I felt I couldn't assimilate. I could bring all this in and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So thankfully for my younger brother, who was in the dream that Charles told me about the very first time. These dreams from Charles, by the way, have been continuing for the last 8 years now. And he still gets them. And they're still advising me. My ancestors, my brother, my mother, and my angels. And we all have forums of angels around us. Kelly, you know this. Many of us here in this group know that. But we need to draw on that to honor them and to acknowledge them. Because that when we acknowledge them, the light becomes more luminous and we ripple out. And it's a global ripple. Thank you all. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to have the second round on the next call because we've spent our call on the first round. So next time we'll talk about how we bond with others and how we share our bonding together. And this has been really wonderful to have you all here. I so appreciate your presence. I so appreciate your sharings, and I'm just
All of your story.
grateful. All of the stories. Let's have let's just do one final round quickly of one final thing you'd like to share with us.
I have a song from my river that I birthed that I could sing to close us. I'd like to share that after everyone shares.
Okay. Lisa.
This was kind of perfect timing because I wanted to. Michelle just reminded me of ancestors, and Kelly had said earlier about the Cherokee ancestor who came to her. And I really do believe that when you were little and you wanted darker skin, that you were feeling your DNA. You were really feeling it, and that he really did come to you, and he really was waiting for you to speak to you. I have that total belief about ancestors. I speak to my ancestors all the time, and I do think they search you out long before I knew I was Indigenous in any part of my body and could trace it back, because my grandfather didn't share that stuff with his children. He didn't share his previous families or anything, so he was a very hidden man. But before I did all that, I felt it. You know. So I just wanted to affirm that and affirm Michelle also when speaking about her ancestors.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That touches my heart a lot. Thank you.
I just want to speak. A takeaway for me is gratitude to be able to know more about each one of you, because we usually don't even know that much as we meet on Facebook or in social circles. So grateful for all of you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon, so much. I'm behind Sharon. I'm just full of gratitude for this and for what I was able to share today. I've never shared that at all, you know, in a group like this. What a golden opportunity, and hopefully it resonates out. And we know that the kingdom and the realms are in everywhere. There's portals, or every star is a doorway. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all that is, was, and will be. Thank you.
Yes. I would like to just thank everybody for their sharings. So vulnerable, so real, so necessary. that we actually know and see ourselves in each other. My mother lived for 31 years with a half a lung. She was in service to her community. I got to witness her every day, spirit in action. When she left for those 3 years, I had developed a humor, a strength. Yes, I protected my heart, but I had developed a way to move in the world. And when I saw how she was able to overcome the greatest possible physical one of them, it gave me a sense that anything was possible. And I've had that sense since I was a tiny little girl. And that's why I say yes to everything. And that's why I'm so grateful for such a wonderful life full of so many incredible, blessed, God-sent experiences. And now I've been hibernating for a year and a half. I haven't seen anybody, you guys. This is a first for me. I go to a cafe maybe and I pick up something and I run to my car and I go to the beach because I'm in process to share
Yeah.
something from what I'm sharing.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful for this. Thank you. Thank you. Really, thank you.
Thank you, Shalimar.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you all for the strength that you've shown, and I appreciate the wisdom that you all have to share. And I just love this opportunity to connect because I've also been hiding for about 2 years in my home, working from home. So this is a great opportunity. Thank you.
Way to go, Brittany.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything, Satiana?
Well, clearly, I'm new here, but according to Lisa, I'm not the only new person. So I'm just kind of, listening and sending good vibes to all. Peace and blessings.
Thank you.
You're a beautiful wise woman, Satiana.
Thank
My
you for your presence.
Beautiful energy. Yes. Thank you.
So
Thank
Yes,
you.
I want to share my
Mayan,
takeaway. Yeah,
Yep.
before you
Go
go, Kelly.
Yep.
As I've listened to you all, and talking about the ancestors, my biggest ancestral story came from Inanna, from the Pleiades. It wasn't from Earth. It wasn't from Earth lineages. It was Inanna, and I could see how she sits in this sphere and she looks for who has her DNA that she can reach. And she'll send a rock here and a fairy there and an angel here and a message here in a song. And she would just reach out and who will respond? And I responded. And then those messages got clearer and clearer and clearer until I could really feel that I could embody her presence. And I just really appreciate all your stories that bring that to my memory. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. But remember when you picked up the book, it said, look for your nativity, and it was the stars.
In the stars,
So
yeah.
there you
that
are,
was
my
Inanna.
darling. Inanna is your mama. Yeah. I beautiful Mayana.
So
Thank you.
beautiful, Mayana. I appreciate you so much. And all of you, thank you so much. I wanted to share this song because it came from the grandmothers, being in partnership here with the grandmothers. One grandmother said something out of the blue one day in a call or something, or a post on the Facebook page, to look for your connection to the river you were born by. And so when I dropped in, I sat with that and really listened, and I got this beautiful song that really speaks to who we all are in a way. So I hope you appreciate it and just receive this because it's not just about me, it's about us. We are sweet Louisiana honey, born by the Red River. Mother waters carry carry us on. She's taking us deep into the heart, just to remember who we are, because we are sweet Louisiana honey, born by the Red River. Mother waters carry me home. Oh, shit.
Beautiful, Kelly. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Louisiana Bayou.
Shanti. Shanti.
Thank
That
you all
was-
so much for being here.
Really looking forward to our next call.
Yeah.
I hope you all can make it, and let's keep blooming this flower. You're a beautiful bouquet. Thank you so much, all of you. This was lovely.
See you in the clouds, where we're gathering in the clouds now.
And in the dreams, in our
And
dreams.
in the dreams and in the heart of hearts, at the altar of our hearts. Thank you all. Thank you
Yeah.
all.
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Blessings.
Connected
See you.
forever.
Thank